I get to actually hang with my fans, people who've been watching me, and we get to make money together, or we get to lose together, but at least we get to play together. You know what I mean? So
You don't
I
always
love it.
win? You're not always winning, by the way?
No, not always, but last time we did this, I'm not saying we're gonna win every single bet, but last time we did this, we went 5-0, and everybody was at that ticket booth cashing money. So we're gonna try to have another sweep tonight. I'm gonna do my best to get people to make some money, but I get to hang with my fans, chill out, and then watch some fights, man. Nothing better.
Who,
Nothing better.
who do you like tonight? When you look at some of these fights, who do you like tonight? Is there one fight that stands out to you that you feel super strongly about?
Yeah, I think Terrence McKinney gets it done. I like this kid. I think he's a future UFC champion. This kid Terrence McKinney, and I think Marab does pretty much the same thing to Peter Yan. I don't think Yan's gonna find his way to be able to make an adjustment and beat a guy of this style matchup. I think this style matchup is Peter Yan's kryptonite, and I think Marab gets it done. I think Terrence McKinney gets it done, and I'm really looking forward to seeing my old training partner Edson Barboza go out there and do his thing. Unfortunately, I think this kid Jalen Turner that he's fighting, who just came out of retirement, I never think it's good to retire and unretire. So I think just based on that alone, I think Edson gets it done as well. So we'll be doing a nice little parlay tonight at the Parks, and I'll help break down the fights with the fans and let them know what I think.
I love that. We just talked to an Eagles legend, Hollis Thomas, and when you talk to ex-athletes or even current athletes, the insight that they have, I would sit and watch, a football game with Ron Jaworski, and he just sees the game, like every attention to detail. He sees where I'm looking at it just kind of from, just a wider lens, like an overall picture, but he sees every little thing, the arm motion, the footwork, the hands. When you watch fights, can you see just every little thing? Can you just see everything because you've done it at such a high level for such a long time?
Yeah, that's the fun part for me. Styles make matchups, right? So sometimes the public thinks the most popular guy, they get a hold of the most popular guy, and the books get it wrong. They get excited about the most popular guy. But when you look at certain styles, I just know from a fighting standpoint, as long as I've been doing this, certain styles just don't fit right. I don't care how popular you are. So and they're the kind of things I look for. That's the edge I look for when I go to the sports book. Them sort of style matchups, and the people who come to the sports book, I'll break it down, let them know why. Like I said, I don't always win. There's a large uh, degree of uncertainty in fights. People get caught, but I do my best to give people winning picks when we're at the sports book, and I put my own money on there. So I let them know I'm betting too. So if we lose, I'm losing money too. So we're doing it together.
Nice. And so I want to ask you personally, where are you at? You haven't been able to fight. I guess you had a broken jaw. Where are you at with that? And what do you think your future is?
Well, right now we opened up a performance institute in Bucks County, right with right at the NAC, the Newtown Athletic Club. I partner with Jim Worthington, and we opened up a 20,000 square foot combat. It's an arena just dedicated to combat sports. It's actually
Amazing.
incredible.
That's incredible.
When you walk in, it's like state of the art. And I'm doing that. I'm helping train the next group of people, whether it's just hobbyists, whether it's just people who want to learn a sport, or if you want to go all the way to a UFC World Championship level, we have a fight team now. And as a coach, I'm undefeated. I'm 9-0, and I'm really proud of my kids. I'm proud of everybody who fights at the Underground Kings, and I'm looking forward to building a championship team in the future.
I read this that the BKFC president, David Feldman, said a few weeks ago that you may have fought for the last time after breaking your jaw. Do you think that's the case, that we've seen the last of you fighting, or do you think you have still something left?
The world may never know. I never say never, man. I think retirement's for quitters.
Right. And so, but you still have it in, like, you still have that, that feel to, like, I want to get back in there at some point. Do you still have that itch?
I don't think it'll ever go away. I think it's a matter of, I put myself through this for 21 years, and I've been in wars against the best guys in the world. I don't think it's that itch will never go away from me. And it's a matter of me just being intelligent and giving my family the best of me and making sure my family gets the best of me the same way fighting did. So I walk a razor thin line between courage and stupidity. And I'm very good at it. And you never know. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, you've been out since breaking your jaw. Obviously, that had to be very, very painful. Your pain tolerance has to be on another planet compared to, myself or, an average person. Do you remember, and you've been doing this a very, very long time, and I know this is a simplistic question. I mean, you may not even get asked this a lot, but I am curious as someone that probably deserves to get hit a few times but hasn't. What does it feel like the first time you got hit? Like, do you remember that vividly? Is that a vivid memory for you?
So I love your question. It's a great question, but the idea of a training camp, as you're preparing for a fight, the entire idea of a training camp is to remove yourself from your feelings, and be disconnected from any feeling. And you're just supposed to go in there thoughtless and fight like a dog. So I don't feel when I go in a fight. Every time, even during the camp, when my feelings are getting involved, the job is to ignore them and just continue to fight. So, um, if I'm fighting well and I'm fighting in the zone, I'm fighting at a high level. There's no thoughts and there's no feelings. It's just instincts. The entire time inside the cage should be an instinct. It shouldn't be a thought or feeling. So,
Do you remember though the first time, as a kid, just getting popped and going, whoa? Do you have that memory? Do you have that recollection from? Do you remember that?
I do. My first loss ever was in St. Petersburg, Russia. Actually, Vladimir Putin and Jean-Claude Van Damme were in the front row watching, and I was probably a 23-year-old kid, and I was up against a very tough veteran, and he was popping me, he was beating me, and it was the first time in my career where I was not the hammer, I was the nail, and I didn't deal with it good, and I lost. And when I look back, it was the very first fight I was actually in where I dealt with adversity, and I lost. I lost my very first fight. Up until that point, I was 9-0, but I haven't been in a real fight, and that was the first real fight I was in. It taught me a lot about myself.
Yeah, and you probably, obviously you never want to lose, and we hear this all the time. We've heard Nick Sirianni talk about it with the Eagles. He's thankful for the adversity. I imagine that actually, you don't think about it probably at the time, but when you can have the perspective to look back, you probably go, hey, that was a good thing.
It'll put a chip on your shoulder. It'll give you more gratitude for winning. I think when you win so much, sometimes you lose the gratitude for winning, and you realize how much losing sucks. So it's good to build that gratitude. There's no power like gratitude, and it definitely puts a chip on your shoulder if you're a champion, you're a competitor. So that's what it did for me. I mean, in retrospect, it's great, but when it's happening to you, it fucking sucks.
I'm sure it is difficult. Well, Eddie Alvarez, UFC legend, the Philly native, you will be here tonight at Parx Casino for UFC 323. You're going to be hanging out with a viewing party, watching all the fights, hanging out with fans, taking pictures, some insights, a little gambling, you name it. Thanks for your time today on PHLY Sports.
I appreciate you, Philly. I'll see you guys out there.
All right, Eddie Alvarez.